Rory McIlroy was born in Holywood, County Down, Northern Ireland. From a very young age, Rory held a golf club like it was an extension of his own small hands. His father, Jerry McIlroy, saw the spark and worked multiple jobs to support Rory's burgeoning talent. This was more than a hobby. It was a calling for the young boy. The dedication of father and son laid the very first stone on the path to glory. The stories from those early days are now legendary. Young Rory would chip golf balls into his mother Rosie's washing machine in the family home. He wasn't just playing, he was practicing with a purpose that belied his tender years. His natural talent was undeniable, a raw gift that needed careful nurturing. His swing, even then, was a thing of beauty, fluid, powerful, and possessed a rhythm that coaches dream of. People in Irish golfing circles began to talk about a boy wonder from Holywood. He was a prodigy, pure and simple. This early promise was not just about a pretty swing, it was about a competitive fire that burned brightly within him. He loved the game, but he also loved to win. The dream of playing in major championships was already taking root. Little did he know then the winding, often painful journey that awaited him. But the foundation was set in those formative years in Belfast. A foundation of talent, hard work, and an unwavering belief, instilled by his family, that he could achieve anything he set his mind to. As Rory McIlroy grew, so did his list of accomplishments in the amateur ranks. When he turned professional in 2007, he hit the ground running. He secured his European Tour card with ease, a young man already comfortable among seasoned veterans. His first professional win came quickly, at the Dubai Desert Classic in 2009. This victory announced his arrival on the big stage. More wins followed, and his performances in major championships began to turn heads. The label Golden Boy was soon attached to him. With his captivating smile and thrilling brand of golf, he was a marketer's dream. The expectations began to soar, not just from others, but from within himself. His first major championship victory came at the 2011 US Open at Congressional. He didn't just win, he demolished the field, setting records in the process. More majors followed, the PGA Championship in 2012, and then two more in 2014, the Open Championship and another PGA Championship. By the age of 25, he had 4 major titles to his name. The comparisons to Tiger Woods added to the weight of expectation. The Masters tournament, the one major he had yet to conquer, began to loom larger with each passing year. The 2011 Masters tournament was supposed to be a coronation for Rory McIlroy. He arrived at Augusta National as one of the brightest young talents in the game. His play through the first 3 rounds was spectacular, building a commanding 4-shot lead heading into Sunday. The green jacket seemed almost within his grasp. But Sunday at the Masters is a different beast. The pressure is unlike anything else in golf. The final round began, and slowly cracks started to appear. A nervous tee shot here, a missed putt there. The turning point came on the 10th hole. His tee shot hooked violently left, ending up near the cabins. From there, it was a painful unraveling. A triple bogey on the 10th, followed by more errant shots and mounting frustration. He shot a final round 80, plummeting down the leaderboard. The dream of winning the Masters that year was shattered in the most dramatic fashion. Charles Schwartzel would go on to win, but the story of that Sunday was Rory's heartbreak. The emotional toll of such a public failure, especially on a stage as grand as the Masters, was immense. While he showed incredible character to bounce back and win the US Open just 2 months later, the memory of that Augusta Sunday lingered. The shadow of that 2011 Masters collapse loomed large over Rory McIlroy's subsequent attempts to win the green jacket. Each April, the questions would resurface. Could he conquer the course that had dealt him such a cruel blow? One particularly poignant near miss came in the 2016 Masters. He was right in contention, playing in the final group on Sunday alongside Jordan Spieth. However, he couldn't find the spark he needed. It was another opportunity gone, another year where the dream remained unfulfilled. The narrative of "can Rory ever win the Masters?" became a dominant theme each spring. The wait for that elusive green jacket continued, testing his patience and resolve to the limit. The years between Rory McIlroy's last major victory in 2014 and his eventual Masters triumph in 2025 were long and often frustrating. A full decade passed, He continued to win regular tour events, often displaying breathtaking golf. He reached world number 1 multiple times. But the majors, the tournaments that define a golfer's legacy, remained just out of reach, and none was more yearned for, more scrutinized, than the Masters. During this period, Rory explored various avenues to rediscover his major winning form. There were equipment changes, caddy changes, and swing adjustments. He left no stone unturned in his quest to get back to the summit of major championship golf. The mental burden of the Grand Slam quest, particularly the Masters component, was undeniable. Each April brought a fresh wave of media attention, a renewed focus on his Augusta record. Despite the major drought, there were still moments of brilliance that reminded the world of his extraordinary talent. There came a point in Rory McIlroy's journey when he realized that his immense natural talent and physical prowess alone might not be enough to conquer Augusta National. The Masters required something more, something deeper. This realization marked a significant shift in his approach. He began to explore the world of sports science, particularly the psychological aspects of performance. A key part of this evolution was his decision to work more closely with mental coaches and performance experts. He started to delve into techniques for managing pressure, maintaining focus, and cultivating a winning mindset. One of the most visible changes was the adoption of specific routines, particularly his breathing techniques. This was a simple yet powerful tool to calm his nerves, lower his heart rate, and bring clarity to his thoughts. This practice became a hallmark of his pre-shot routine, a clear indication of his commitment to his mental preparation. By dedicating himself to strengthening his mind, he was preparing himself not just for the Masters, but for the sustained pressures of being one of the world's elite golfers. When Rory McIlroy arrived at Augusta National for the 2025 Masters, there was a subtle difference about him. The usual buzz and intense media hype seemed somewhat muted, replaced by a quiet confidence that emanated from the Northern Irishman. He appeared more at ease, less burdened by the weight of history. His play through the first 3 rounds reflected this newfound composure. There were no spectacular, record-breaking charges, but rather a display of steady, controlled golf. He avoided the big numbers that had plagued him in past Masters. He managed his game intelligently, respecting the course and picking his moments to be aggressive. Each round built upon the last, positioning him perfectly for a Sunday challenge. He wasn't necessarily the outright leader, but he was right there, lurking, ready to pounce. His demeanor was calm, his routines consistent. The occasional errant shot didn't lead to a downward spiral, as it sometimes had in the past. The stage was set for what could be a career-defining day. The final round of the 2025 Masters was everything golf fans could have hoped for: drama, tension, and brilliant shot-making. Rory McIlroy found himself in a head-to-head battle with the experienced Englishman, Justin Rose. Both players were vying for the coveted green jacket, and neither was willing to yield. Rory played with a mix of aggression and caution, picking his spots to attack, but always mindful of the dangers lurking on Augusta's treacherous greens and fairways. As the round progressed, the lead swung back and forth. The roars echoed through the Georgia pines, first for Rose, then for McIlroy. Each player produced moments of magic, draining long putts, hitting laser-like approaches. After 72 holes of grueling competition, they found themselves tied. The 2025 Masters would be decided in a sudden-death playoff. The first playoff hole was the iconic 18th. Both found the fairway with their drives. Rose played his approach safely to the middle of the green. Then came Rory. He struck the ball purely, landing softly and settling just a few feet from the hole. A huge Augusta roar erupted. The pressure was now squarely on Rose to make his longer putt. Rose's birdie attempt slid by the edge. Rory had a short putt for history, for the career Grand Slam. With a smooth stroke, he sent the ball on its way, tracking perfectly towards the center of the cup and disappearing. In the aftermath of his historic victory, as Rory McIlroy slipped on the iconic green jacket on April 13, 2025, he spoke eloquently about his journey. He talked about the years of trying, the near misses, and the lessons learned. But most significantly, he shared insight into the mental shift that had finally carried him over the line at Augusta. He attributed much of his newfound composure and resilience to a technique he called the one-hole reset. This simple yet profound mental trick had been instrumental in managing the immense pressure of the final round and the sudden death playoff. The one-hole reset technique involved treating each hole as a completely new tournament. Regardless of what happened on the previous hole, he would consciously wipe the slate clean as he walked to the next tee. This mindset was particularly evident during the tense final round and the playoff against Justin Rose. Achieving the career Grand Slam cemented Rory McIlroy's place among the legends of golf. His victory was not just a personal triumph, it was an inspiration, showing that talent must be paired with resilience and a willingness to evolve.